these are happy tears. This is not bad at all by any means, but you know, I've been stuck on like finding a purpose and like what God wants me to do, and just like my passions and my dreams. And I remember one of the questions from the sermon from Sunday that we went to together was, what's the last thing that God has asked you to do? And I couldn't answer it. And today, you know, I already told you the other, like the two stories about like how like I'm gonna, you know, I bumped, you know, the first thing I read that morning was, you know, someone started a 12-step program, and then like meeting that woman who I sat next to in biology, and just being able to be vulnerable and, you know, not overshare, but share enough to where she opened up. And you know, so this Bible study wasn't just a Bible study. Like it's a step study. It's a Celebrate Recovery step study. Like it's an amazing Bible, and like it's like really like a study through recovery. And I'm only emotional because like he's just given me so many signs of what I need to do, and the last thing God asked me to do was to recover. And like it was way not coincidence. I don't want to say coincidence, but like, you know, I used to always talk to God and pray to him and be really, really angry when like bad things were going on in my life. And like I am always just like, why isn't he listening? Why isn't he listening? And it's finally like clicked in that like I wasn't listening. And like, you know, this Bible study is amazing. Like oh gosh, you know, you go around and like it's basically, luckily I've been going to Celebrate Recovery. I would have never been this open. I wasn't too open, but you go around and talk about like things that you're recovering from, or like your hang up and your hurt. And you know, mine was drinking, and not that like I can't control it, but there it is, denial. You know, I think I can control it, but then things come down to it, and you know, there's times where I can't control it. It's like a hit or miss. And so before, you know, because that was really what I was going to Celebrate Recovery for, was just, you know, my discipline on that. And before we even got into anything, you know, we went around, and I was like, you know, I've been coming because, like, you know, wanted to focus on just being disciplined with doing what I said I was going to doing what I said I was going to do. And you know, now it's come to mind, like, you know, why do I drink? Like, what triggers me to do things? And, you know, it came down to it, like, you know, when I start getting triggered because of, like, you know, fathers, and, like, being around my husband's dad, and, like, you know, it's, like, hard because not that I miss my dad, but I miss having a dad. And I've been carrying this anger and resentment, and, like, I've been, like, visualizing him going to prison and rioting and just like revenge. Like, it's just been so hard. Like, I'm not an angry person, but then, you know, that happens and I feel it, so I try to not feel it. And, you know, when you forgive people, you're forgiving them because you want to be set free. So before we even went into the study, I said, you know, I really think that God's telling me that I need to forgive the person who gave me PTSD. And the testimony was talking about alcoholism and like people who have been through really big hurt. Like, I'll have to read it to you when I get home, but talking about like being abused as a child, and like it was just insane. Like, it was just way too coincidental that I'm here right now, because I had no idea this was a 12-step study. And you know, it's just like, for the first time in a really long time, I feel like I have a father taking care of me. And like, you know, you have to be really mindful with this relationship with God. Like, you really have to be mindful and surrender. And, you know, I've had such insecurities of sharing this kind of thing, and oh my gosh, like, I'm just like, these aren't sad, like, yeah, it's emotional to talk about, but like, oh, I just had this overwhelming feeling of peace. And I know this isn't going to be easy. Like, I'm not going to be healed overnight. But, like, to be able to, like, recognize things and then just to have everything, like, so in sync, like serendipity. I don't know the word, but as soon as she read that, I just started crying. Like, I was cracking jokes at first when I was there and, you know, making everybody feel great. And then all of a sudden they read that and I just started bawling my eyes out. And, like, you know, in Celebrate Recovery, this is the Bible study is pretty much the same thing. Like, when people are talking or, like, doing things, like, you can't like do crosstalk just because, you know, out of respect. The guidelines, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to share this. Like, I really, and I asked, I'm like, am I allowed to share, you know, this journey, my journey, because it's also very confidential. Like, whatever happens in Celebrate Recovery, you can't go off and share, or you can't share, like, who's there and all that, obviously. But I was like, you know, I really want to, this is, like, gonna be my story. Like, I really want to share this. And they were like, oh yeah, like, if anybody has a voice for this, like, just, you know, just stay confidential or whatever with, you know, protect yourself as well too, like, you know. So obviously, if, you know what I'm trying to say, but it's not like I'm gonna go off and, you know, tell everybody everything about everything. But oh my gosh, Carolyn, I cannot believe the Lord placed me in a Bible study like this. I totally thought it was just like a Bible study, like a, oh hey, Bible study, here you go. And oh wow, it was crazy.